Hello friends and welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to create this very dorky looking duck. Looks more like a seagull, but I'll call it a duck. And we're going to be using a Tunisian simple stitch for this tapestry. So we're going to start by chaining 17. Once you have chained your 17 chains, we're going to turn our chains onto the back side. And you know it's the back side because if you run your fingers through them, you will feel little bumps. And we're going to work onto those bumps. We're going to skip that very first loop or that very first bump, and we're going to go straight to the second one. We're going to count this loop that we have on our hook as 1. And we're just going to insert our hook onto that bump, and we just continue to yarn over and pull those loops onto our hook, and we should end up with 17 loops on our hook. Your row should look just like this. This is actually where I add that I'm actually adding a first row or foundation row to our original pattern. The original pattern actually has like the start of the duck onto our foundation, but it's just a little bit more complicated to do it that way, so I'm just adding a solid color row. And a unique thing about Tunisian simple stitch is that we have a forwards and we also have a backwards within one row. So we're going to do our return pass. We're going to chain 1 onto that very last loop on our hook, or we're just going to actually just yarn over and pull through that very last loop. That's going to be our chain 1. We're going to yarn over and pull through 2 of our loops. Once again, we're just going to yarn over and pull through 2, and we're just going to do this all the way down our row. And your row should look just like this. So now for our very second row, we're going to do our repeat for the rest of this project. So if you grab your previous row and you pull it apart just like this, you see like little stacks of yarn, and we're going to insert our hook onto those stacks. We're going to insert our hook only onto that front loop of our previous row, yarn over and pull. We're going to do this for one more stitch for a total of 3 green stitches. Of course, you can actually use any background color. I'm using the original one, which is a green. And we get to introduce our new color. Once again, we're just going to insert our hook onto that front loop only of our previous row, but we're just going to yarn over with our new color. And we just continue to do this with our new color until we have 3 stitches left, which we're going to be using our green stitch. And like I said before, we just stop before we do those 3 last stitches, and we just drop our white, we pick up our green, and we just continue to do our green stitches all the way down our row. And for our return pass, once again, we just yarn over and pull through that very last loop on our hook. That's going to be true for every row. Yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now this is where we have our color change. So whenever you have 2 different color stitches on your hook, the first one and the second one, you always use that second color stitch to pull through. For example, we were just using our green. This is our working yarn. We were just using our green, and we're going to drop it. We're going to pick up our white. We're going to yarn over, pull through that green stitch and through that white stitch. We're just going to yarn over and pull through 2 all the way until we have that second color switch. Once again, the same rule applies. If you have 2 different color stitches on your hook, your first one and your second one, you'll always use that second color stitch to pull through. So we're just going to drop our white. We're going to pick up our green, yarn over, pull through that white and through that green stitch. And we just yarn over and pull through 2, pull through 2. And this is how your row should look like. This is actually where I leave the explanation. Everything that you need to know is within these rows right here. Your foundation, your color change, your color switch, your return pass. Everything that you need to know is within these 2 rows right here. Always down below I leave the Pinterest pin that I'm following, or you can always take a screenshot of the pattern on screen.